So anybody watching this video as a real estate agent, you know there's been some major changes to our industry in regards to the NAR settlement. And I'm filming this video here in July, and we all know that these changes take place in our industry next month in August. There's a lot of real estate agents out there that are really scared about these changes. And my goal today is to turn your fear into excitement. And how am I gonna do that? I'm gonna give you the confidence, and I'm gonna give you the tools to create a step-by-step process that every single buyer that meets with you, not only are they gonna sign an agreement with you on the spot 100% of the time, but they're gonna have the confidence to know that working with you is the best agent they could have possibly picked that's providing more value than anybody else. So I'm really excited. I'm just going to do a mock presentation just like I'm meeting with a buyer, so you can make it your own, obviously, but you can watch exactly what it is that I'm gonna do, and we're gonna jump right into it. I am John Foster, and I help today buyer's agents. I always help buyer's agents, but team leaders, top producers, and broker owners scale their businesses to become #1 in their marketplaces. So we're gonna get started, and you'll be able to see the slides as I'm going through them, just as I've got them designed, and you can click on the link below. I'm gonna give this presentation away to you for free, and you can customize it or use it to your own liking, and I hope that helps you. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. And again, this is me sitting in my conference room with my client, and I'm gonna show them that today we've got a consultation agenda, and my goal, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, today is just to work with you, and you've shared some of your home purchase goals with me and get you really excited about the process of working with me. You can see we're gonna have a little bit of discovery. We're gonna go through some of what your home purchase goals are, so that I can best understand your needs. I'm gonna offer a little bit of education about our real estate market, multiple offers, contingencies, disclosure, sort of answer any questions about the process that you might have. I'm gonna go through a quick market update. It's important that you know that the housing market that you're looking at purchasing in, what's the list price for sale price, how many days on market on average, any other relevant market conditions. I'm gonna then show you a couple of case studies on recent closings that I've been really excited that I've helped some recent buyers with that were extremely successful working with me. And then, as you know, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, that this NAR settlement that's taken place in August of 2024 requires all agents working with a buyer for that buyer to sign a written agreement. So I'm gonna go over that with you a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and get our home search started. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go through this buyer questionnaire, and this is a really fun exercise. And as you can see, it's 2 pages, but it's a really simple form. And again, for my viewers watching, you can click a link, you can download this as well. I'm gonna give this to you. But this is just a simple get to know you. What's your name, phone number, email, all of your relevant contact information. Are they full or part-time? How many years employed? This is just getting a gauge on what their status is of their employment. Financing, what is your price range? Are you a first-time home buyer? Are they able to provide proof of funds? This is just setting the stage so that you've collected the data you need to help your buyer be successful. This other side of this form is really, really sort of the fun part and the exciting part. It's also gonna give you a lot of information. Their current residential status. You wanna find out if they're currently a homeowner. If they are, do they have a home to sell? My advice is, if you understand that they have a home to sell, you go ahead and say, have you heard about our buy before you sell program? Do you have a buy before you sell program? If not, I'm gonna say you need one, and you should click the link below to book a call with me, because I'm gonna help you get one set up. That's gonna be critical for you unlocking some of the fear behind, I'm not sure if I can make this move. And what buyers don't always do is they don't always tell you what their fear is, but it's they don't wanna sell their home first because it needs work. There's kids, there's dogs, there's whatever. So you need a buy before you sell program. This questionnaire is gonna let you know if that's even relevant to the situation. So again, the fun part is requirements and information. What kind of home do they wanna buy? How many square feet, number of beds, number of bathrooms, the neighborhood, any other specifics, or what I love to call a wish list. I'm then gonna, if I'm in my conference room, I'm gonna cast my screen onto the TV, and I'm just gonna plug in that criteria into the MLS as if I was searching for homes for them, and show them exactly what comes up. That exercise is powerful because hopefully what they've shared with you in their budget aligns with what the results are. If not, you're gonna wanna talk to them about making some adjustments, either to price or criteria. Then lastly, you just wanna find out when is the best time for them to look at properties. Is it the morning? Is it the afternoon? Is it weekends or weekdays? Okay, so moving on, we're going to go through the home buying process. And again, less is more, but we want to bullet point these items and go through them relatively quickly, except make the relevant points where you need to. So, I'm going to say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, step one is, as I mentioned earlier with this NAR change, buyer's agents are not allowed to open a door until there's a written agreement with that buyer. So today we're going to go through a written agreement with a real estate agent and how you can hire me as your agent. And we'll put that in writing so that both of us have all of our expectations clearly defined on paper. Step number two is, we talked a little bit about getting pre-approved, and it sounds like you've got a great lender. So we want to move forward with that process. Step number three is we're going to go out and tour properties. In fact, I wanted to see if I could show you these 3 homes that we got excited about after our meeting here today. So that would be something that we can get started right away looking at homes. Step number 4 is we're going to be submitting offers. Once we find homes that you love, I'm going to help you and guide you through the process. Every offer you submit, you're going to have personal time with me going through reports, disclosures, and you're also going to get a CMA showing you the value of that home before you make the offer. So I'm going to make sure you're very comfortable about that. Step number 5 is I'm going to be negotiating and the contracts as well with you every step of the way, and make sure that, again, I am your advocate working specifically for you. I'm not hired to work for the seller. That's the listing agent's job. So I'm going to be advocating my hardest to get you the best price and the best terms on each property you make an offer on. Step number 6 is sort of a celebration day where you're going to get your offer accepted. Both parties find the terms of their offer satisfactory, and we open escrow. So I'm going to be there again with you every step of the way on that, and that's going to be an exciting step through the process. Step number 7 is inspection and appraisal, and you can count on me to be the expert in the field of being able to recommend every inspection I know is going to be relevant for you, whatever that may be, and it's going to be specific to each property based on the type of property, location, and condition. Step number 8 is definitely the day you're going to want to celebrate, and I'm going to celebrate with you. That's our closing day, and I'm going to coordinate the loan funding with the escrow officer and the lender and the recording process with the county, and I'm going to meet you for handing off the keys, and we're going to do our final walkthrough. So that's going to be a very, very exciting day. So my advice is, you'll see obviously my slide here, but my advice is you need to have an exclusive value proposition. So what does that mean? From a marketing perspective, what does the word exclusive mean? It means that these are going to be features and benefits, tools and resources that the buyer can gain that are valuable only working with you and no other agent. This is going to solidify or cement that relationship to say from the buyer in their mind, I'm really excited that I'm sitting down with this agent right now. They're offering me a ton of value that I'm pretty sure I can't get anywhere else. So this is what my exclusive value proposition, and yes, I'm sharing it with everybody. Okay, obviously we're with eXp Realty. You can see we've got what's called eXp Exclusives, and that's an off-market MLS system we have that is clear, compliance, compatible. Try saying that 10 times fast. And that just shows, I'm going to actually show that to the buyer on my app. And that shows them that I've got access to off-market homes that match their criteria that they can't go on Zillow and see. That's something only I have access to for them. So that's massive. We have a nationwide referral program. So why would I bring that up in a buyer's consultation? Well, maybe they're considering buying more than one property. You never know, but you want to be prepared. Maybe they're buying a property out of state and one locally. Maybe they have a home to sell out of state. So again, having that nationwide referral program is massive value. In our situation, I am part of a high performing team. We sell hundreds of homes every year. I'm going to network within my team based on the criteria you gave me in the buyer questionnaire to find out if any of my team members might have a property that they've listed that would match your criteria before it hits the market. So in our situation, we're a Zillow off-market home matching. We have some software set up that all of the Zillow buyer leads, which are hundreds of leads our team gets a month, as they're coming in, we're matching, hey, we've got these several properties coming in. Do they fit any of the criteria of any of our buyers that they're searching for? This is my exclusive value proposition. Every time I tell a buyer about this, they get excited. They see that I'm offering a lot of things that a lot of agents either can't offer or haven't told them they're going to offer, and I'm building my value with my buyer. So I hope that helps you. This one's pretty simple, but your home buying team, your preferred lender, your preferred title person, your transaction coordinator, obviously you, if you have a team leader, All right, remember a little bit earlier in that, I think the second slide, we talked about a little bit of education. This is critical, and this piece of your presentation is solidifying you, your role, and your value to this buyer. And so there's a little bit of education, and most buyers are gonna understand this pretty quick, but there's gonna be probably a good handful of first-time buyers that really need this education and really need to understand there's a line in the sand between two different roles. And as you can see in my slide here, differences between a buyer's agent and a seller's agent, and why, put this in writing, independent representation is important. So we're gonna go through and just have a little bit of education on what are these two roles and how do they work. So let's jump into just a buyer's agent. So this is an independent agent whose sole purpose is to represent the buyer's best interest, not the seller's, the buyer's best interest. A fiduciary duty to get the best price and terms for the buyer, not the seller. You're solidifying this with your client. I'm representing you. I'm going to review the reports and the disclosures with you on every property you're interested in, keeping the buyer out of a situation that may otherwise they may be unaware of that could cost them significant time and money. And as real estate agents, I'm not going to get into what all those potential pitfalls are on this video, but there's a lot. If you're an experienced agent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Our job is to keep our buyers out of trouble. We have a duty to advise and guide our buyers 100% of the time throughout the home buying journey, no matter how long or short the duration of the process. This is the best opportunity for agents. Please take this to heart. This is the best opportunity for you to make sure your buyers understand you're not a transactional agent. You are here for the life of the journey. Whatever the time span is, that is not the focus. The focus is doing the best job, finding the right home for the client, etc. So we want to make sure that we're not in this to hurry up and rush them through the process. We're here to go on the journey with them. I am focused on building a long-term relationship based upon trust, knowledge, mutual respect, and admiration. Okay, available long after the closing for vendor referrals, market updates, and anything else real estate related. So again, stating one more time that we are not just transactional. We're not just looking to close the escrow as soon as possible, give them the keys and disappear. We want to be their real estate agent for life and establish that value with them. Seller's agent. Okay, my advice is you want to define a very clear picture. The seller's agent is there to serve the seller. And let's talk about what I've written here. They're hired solely by the seller to work as the seller's advocate, to strategize on an aggressive focus to achieve top dollar and terms for the seller with little, if any, care for the price and term favorability for the buyer. It doesn't mean the listing agents are not nice people. It doesn't mean that. It just means, you know, when you're hired to do a job, you're expected to do the job you were hired for, and they're hired to get the best price and terms for the seller. They don't have any concern or care for the buyer. And again, it doesn't mean that they don't like the buyer. They have a fiduciary duty to the seller. Very important you define that and make it clear that the buyer goes, yes, I understand that. And I'm also really excited that your role is the exact opposite, to advocate for me, the buyer. The next slide is really, really important for your buyers to understand how it is that you get paid. My strategy is to always have the seller pay the buyer's agent fee regardless of an offer of compensation or not. So let's say the seller says, no, I'm not offering a concession. I'm not offering compensation to the buyer's broker. That is okay. You can come up with a structure in your offer, and the offers here in California are set up that way where I can write in a credit from the seller, even though they've said no, they're not paying the buyer's agent. I'm just giving you an example, you guys. If you want to book a call with me and go a little bit deeper on strategy and negotiation, you can. Let's just say really quickly, the home is listed for $1 million. The buyer has said, hey, you know, let's write an offer that's a little bit higher than that to cover the buyer's agent's compensation, and let's simply ask for a credit from the seller back. And let's say the offer from the buyer is now $1,025,000. Maybe it's a $25,000 credit from the seller to the buyer. And other buyers, let's say there's 5 offers on the property, are all structuring the offers the same way. Then that's what the comps are, right? Hopefully I'm explaining that well, but that's a good example of how the seller would still technically pay the buyer's broker. Okay, how much are we paid? that is entirely negotiable. Okay, and it's really important, I believe, and I will just share my personal belief, is that you as a buyer's agent will have more success competing on value. If you are competing on price, just know that that is what you're known for. So oftentimes you'll get a buyer that's all they're focused on too, and they don't appreciate the hard work or the value because you're not focused on offering or talking about that. And the respect or the relationship may be a bit diminished on that. So again, you need to make a decision on that, but how much are we paid? That is up to you. You've got to, maybe strategize with your team leader or your broker or agents in your office on just what it is that you want your strategy to be. Price versus value, come up with a model that you're comfortable with and run with it. The cost of not having an exclusive buyer's agent, you can take this however you want, but there's a cost to not having someone on your side. And the problem, you can call it the moment of regret. The problem in real estate is oftentimes that cost is discovered after the close of escrow. And it's a pretty painful feeling to know that you closed the escrow with an agent that maybe competed more on price and maybe a little bit less on value and didn't do a termite report or didn't do a sewer inspection. And now the sewer backed up and there's a $15,000 plumbing repair bill that now this buyer thought they saved money because they agreed to pay their agent, but it was a flat fee. So there was a perception of savings there, but now there's a $15,000 bill that maybe the agent who was competing on value would have stepped up immediately and said, oh my gosh, we need to have this sewer tested, discovered that problem during escrow. And if that was me, I would have had the seller fix that sewer for my client before we even closed and put that issue to bed before it even came a problem. So that would have been my approach. So that's how I would describe how agents are paid. And I hope this is helpful to you. You're going to need to come up with your own way that you're going to be paid and your strategy to describe that. But I hope this gives you some framework on how you can do that. So this one, we're going to go quick. It's pretty simple, but this just goes back to credibility. Buyers want to work with people who are credible, that have had a track record of success, that have maybe won some awards. And it's not so much a brag session here, but you want to just show your buyer that you're capable, you're credible. You've been successful doing what it is that they're wanting you to do for them and proving it to them. So whatever that looks like for you, you want to have some recognition in there for who you are, who your team is, who your brokerage is, all of your awards, etc. Quickly, you want to just, wherever the market, this is a generic slide, but wherever it is that they're looking, you want to show them, and this is pretty national, but here's where the current interest rates sit approximately. Maybe the average sale price over the last, or the change in the sale price over the last 12 months, average days on market. You might want to talk about average number of offers properties received, things like that. Recent purchases, or you could call this your case studies. You do want to brag here a little bit. You want to put in real life examples of buyers you've represented and how the, average price for the buyers you've represented is $50,000 below market, or wherever the trends are in your market, or how you were able to negotiate that sewer repair for that last buyer because you did a video inspection during the escrow, discovered a problem with the piping, you negotiated with the seller to have the sewer replaced, the buyer moved in and was very happy. So whatever your stories are, this is the opportunity you want to take to tell those stories and get your buyers excited about working with you. So in closing, you can count on me to keep you up to date on the current market, advise you on your home selection, negotiate the best deal we can possibly get, avoid the pitfalls of buying a home, and there's a lot of them, and take fiduciary responsibility to be your advocate to help you find the perfect home for you. And that's it for the slides. You are not going to want to miss next week's video because I am going to break down how to fill out the buyer-broker representation agreement. I'm going to make it as exciting as I possibly can. I promise you are not going to want to miss that video because you may have a great presentation, but you've then got to transfer that onto paper and get an agreement signed. And I'm going to show you how to do that 100% of the time. Go out there and win, and go out there and sell a lot of real estate. Thanks for watching.